Everything is riding on this fight. This is the biggest fight of my career. The most amount of money, the most amount of pressure, the most amount of everything. Everything is riding on this. A loss would, it would finish me. It would ruin me. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, a defeat would be devastating because, not only is the beef between me and Conor real and something that I wouldn't be able to stand, the defeat of on a personal level. I have to uphold my father's legacy. Letting him down would probably hurt even more.
You get done in 3 rounds. 3 rounds. Put your money on it. Put your money on it. Put your money on it. Put your money on it.
Eubank Jr, Conor Benn. I've always been a massive fan of Conor Benn. It's not been a secret. Conor Benn, I think he was one of the most fast-rising talents in our country.
It's a huge, huge fight. A fascinating fight for so many reasons.
These two are from same stock of, their fathers, you know what they're about. It's not about the money. It's about the pride, it's about the ego.
You're f***ing lucky you're fighting tomorrow.
We'll see.
You're lucky, mate.
We'll see.
Get your hand off me.
Come on, bro. It's okay, man. Come close, man. I like this. I like
this
energy.
There's no way in a million years this fight goes the distance. In a million years. Conor's angry, wears his heart on his sleeve. Chris is very good at getting under your skin, just like his dad was with Conor's dad.
Listen, there was a lot of noise, there was a lot of frustration, a lot of anger, a lot of, should we say, hatred, bitterness towards the game. I'm excited to be back, and I feel like this is a new and improved version of the man I was. I was 25 years old at the time. The fight's twice the size, and I just feel like now is the right time for me to give this man the worst beating he's had his whole career.
Had a couple of press conferences, egged the guy in the face, and have been working my ass off in the gym every day. The bad guy is back again. He still never cheats. He still never lies. He still never cuts any corners, and yet he is still the bad guy. Isn't it incredible?
Can I just applaud you? What you did that week, that was, if there's ever a fighter that needs a master class on how to promote, how to be themselves, how to command the room, how to be cerebral, clinical with the trash talk, you owned everyone.
The fight was announced.
Eddie,
It was the...
you know I don't like you, right?
I don't know.
If you know that, what on God's sweet green earth makes you think I'm going to sit here and listen to any of the bollocks that you have to say
To
about
be
it?
honest, I mean, you're going to have to.
No.
You are.
We're not. We're going to have some parliamentary procedure here today.
Okay.
Ade, you may proceed.
It was you against the world. You were up there by yourself. Some of the best work that I've ever seen a fighter do in building up a fight. Well done.
Hate is a strong word, but I think these two generally hate each other. It's one of those fights where you go like, there's going to be a lot of emotions.
Nigel, just before we move on, I
Yeah.
got to just say something.
Yeah.
I understand the frustration and the heat that you were experiencing a couple of days ago after I egged Conor. I'm just letting you know. If your hand ever touches me again, you won't get it back.
Shut your fucking mouth. Do you hear me?
No.
Wait, do you hear me? Threaten my dad.
You couldn't look on
Hey, silly bollocks. Threaten my dad again. Watch what happens to you.
Yeah.
I'm not threatening him. I'm just letting him know.
Do you hear what I said?
This is a real fight. This is going to be a bloodbath.
It is 1-0 Chris Eubank Jr. right now. I have to say, it's 1-0 Chris Eubank.
10-8 round?
10-7.
10-7.
10-7.
Oh, yeah.
That's
the rare.
Slap with eggs. 10-7.
This whole thing is just getting on my nerves. Eubank, I can't wait to smash your head in.
Mission
April 26th. I can't wait to smash your head in.
Mission.
Listen, I've heard enough of your voice talking shit this whole time. Again on Tuesday. Just shut your mouth. April 26th, you're getting your head smashed in.
I can't wait, my friend. I can't wait.
You saw what happened.
Eddie, come on, Eddie.
What desire have you got in boxing now? Honestly. What is this fight all about for you?
This fight is everything. Too much has been said, too much has been done, too much has happened in these last couple of years. And everyone needs to know who's the real deal, who's the fake, who's the phony, and who is the truth. You know, one of us is lying. There's nothing I'm more comfortable with than being in a gym or fighting. Once that bell goes, I'm at home. I'm calm. I know what's gonna happen. I know what to do. Me fighting guys in the ring and sparring is like you reading a book. I just know what to do. I know how to do it. I enjoy it. I do it on a regular basis. It's soothing. It's enjoyable for me. A simple, boring, monotonous, painful existence. But that's what you have to do. You have to go through the fire to prepare yourself for war.
For Chris Eubank Jr. in camp is easy because he want to be here. He can't wait to start. It's almost like you got to hold him back so he won't go too far too fast. I believe Chris is a professional. As the camp goes on, our conversation is going to focus on what's best for him business-wise. He got to keep it professional so he could win. And that also lines up to his personal feelings as well.
I've got this energy, you know, I've got this feel about me. No sex, no clubs, no poker. I've got to cut out all the fun stuff for however long. But I don't know, this time I'm excited to do it.
There you go. Put it right here behind that phone. There you go. Right here behind it. Do it again. Do it again.
And you know what it is, Chris? I want to apologise to you because I remember you saying, like, you know, that I was disrespectful to your dad. So I'm sorry if I offended you saying that I hate your dad. I don't hate your dad because you know what it is? Through my stupidity. That was my stupidity. I'm a 61-year-old man, and you know what? I thank God for having Chris in my life because at the end of the day, we've done so much. We've left you lot to carry on the legacy. So at the end of the day, but I apologise for what I said about hating your dad. I really don't.
And the first time I knew who he was when I was, I don't know, maybe 10 years old, and I was at a friend's house. I was going through his father's VHS collection, getting ready to watch a film before bed. And then I found Eubank Benn, my old man on the front cover next to Nigel Benn. And I was like, what's this? I know this guy. Let's watch this. And I watched it. That's for the first time I kind of understood what it was my old man did and who Nigel Benn was. What is this? What is going on? What am I watching? This is crazy. He's getting into a ring in front of, I don't know how many people were in that stadium and fighting and blood and guts and glory. I was shocked.
You've always got to mention the issue with the dads.
You go back to like sort of 1990, the first fight they had at the NEC Centre, Chris Eubank Sr. and Nigel Benn. And it was brutal, man. It was a war. Everyone, like, growing up, watching that as a kid, sort of that's what attracted you to the sport of boxing. Chris Eubank Sr. won that fight with a 9th round KO, but the story was that they both ended up in hospital beds next to each other. Both had broken jaws. I mean, it was brutal, man, beyond brutal. That's why there's such iconic figures in the sport of boxing now.
You go. This is it. This is the stoppage right here. This is what's gonna happen when me and Beck get in there. Look at this. Beautiful. Beautiful. Look at that. Done. Yeah, we're gonna reenact that moment right there. History will repeat. That's right. Eubank Hain will always dominate with that beam. This fight is gonna be everything that first Eubank Benn fight was and more. When you're in the sport of boxing, you don't think about legacy. You just try and, I take every fight as I can, and I do the best I can. I train the hardest I can. I think you think about legacy maybe when you're, retired or getting ready to retire. I don't have that in my heart, so I don't think about it too much.
Jab. Do it again. Shoot. Jab. Jab. That's how you control your opponent. Just like that.
Hear that, Conor? That's the plan for your demise, kid. The first time around, this fight was about my father's legacy. Now it's also about mine. So it's extremely important that I go out there and get the job done. Everybody has their own idea and ethos on what a father is. Mine will be very different to my old man's, I know that for sure. If my son or if Raheem is doing something, I'm gonna let them do it. I'm not gonna be trying to do it with them. Or if I am, I'm gonna be in the background. You know, my father was never a background guy. He wants to be right there next to you while you're doing it. I'm a different guy. I'm built differently, you know? I don't want to be front and center of someone else's journey. I will help, absolutely, but I will help without being seen.
Monster is here. How you been, him? Good? You want to punch the bags with me?
I never thought I would enjoy being around kids. It's just never been a part of my life. But Raheem, he just makes me truly happy. I don't know how, I don't know why. I can't get enough of spending time with him.
You want the red gloves? I got red gloves too. Wow. 16-ounce gloves on a 3-year-old. This is beautiful. They're really big. Oh, come on.
Before he was born, I never thought about kids. It didn't interest me to go and spend time with a kid and take them out and do things with them and teach them things. I didn't even think about, I want a kid to do that with. I want to have a son. But being around him now it makes me think I want to have a son.
So you're gonna put your head guard on? Do you see? This one's good. Come, let me see.
He doesn't understand the family legacy. But he understands that I'm a little bit different. I took a picture with a guy just on the street and he said, I can't take a picture with him because I'm only normal. And I said, Raheem, you are so far from normal, it's unbelievable. You're very special and don't you ever forget that. And he said, okay.
Oh! You're so strong, huh?
My fighting style is the product. The product sells. So for me, whoever I fight, it will never be a dull fight, whether it goes 12 or 1. I plan on closing the show every time I see an opening. And no doubt, I'll come out there, a couple hot skips, right hand over the top, followed by a left hook. I'm definitely going to let him know he's in there with a man who wants to inflict a lot of pain, a lot of damage. I'm not coming in there to play around. If I can render him unconscious, I will.
This fight can go one way or another. And it's a case of who's got enough fire left in the tank. But let me remind you of this. Conor Benn's not been very active of late. So is that a good thing or a bad thing? The bad thing could be that you've not been very active, it could affect your performances. Or it could mean his fight fresher. Chris Eubank is so good at playing the villain, even though he's not the villain. Why do people class him as a villain, but people look at him like that? Don't mistake this. Don't mistake Chris Eubank Jr.'s attitude, his demeanour. The kid knows what he's doing, and that's what he's working on. It's going to be an amazing fight.
We're all going to have an opinion on it, and we're only going to find out on the 26th. My opinion is that Chris will be too big, and too clever, and I think he'll be able to win the fight and probably win it on points. That's my feeling on it. But you know, Conor's daring to be great, daring to step up a couple of weights and turn Chris over, and we'll have to see.
Walking out into an arena of 70,000 people, it'll be new. It'll be emotional. I've never done this before, and it's only going to ignite me and what I'm getting ready to do. You know, that type of pressure, that type of environment is either going to make you or break you. I'm already made. Conor isn't. So we'll find out. I think for him, it's going to be a lot more of a factor being in that type of environment.
What's so good about this fight is that if you're my age or a bit younger, like you, for example, if you followed sport, or even if you didn't, there was no escaping it. 4 terrestrial channels, radio, national newspapers, that was it.
Yeah.
So if you made it onto there, you were massive. Sunday night on ITV, I don't know what it did, 15 to 20 million, something like that. You stop anyone on the street, said Benn or Eubank, they'd have an opinion. So it just captures all age ranges are going to get sucked into this.
It's a massive risk for me because everything's on the line. My reputation, my credibility, my family name, you know, my career. I said, if I lose to Conor Benn, I retire. That is, you know, a harrowing thought to know that if I don't pull this off, if I don't do what I'm supposed to do, on April 27th, there's no more boxing, which is all I've done since I was 14 years old.
Retribution is coming your way, mate. I'm telling you. It is coming your way, mate. You know, he's going to hit you so many times with a left, you're going to be crying for a right. He's going to hit you so many times, you're going to think you're surrounded. I'm telling you, mate.
That's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear apologies. I want to hear how your son's going to beat me.
He's going to put it on you, mate. And I'm so confident, so confident, mate.
Good. The fight is Eubank Benn. You know, I don't think they associate me with my father anymore. They know what I've done, they know what I can do, and they are following me for me, not because of the name. At the beginning of my career, I'm sure a lot of people followed because of the name. What is this kid about? Is he as good as his old man? Is he real? Is he fake? 37 fights in, all those questions have been answered. When I was following in my father's footsteps, that's when our relationship was at its strongest. When I decided to step away from those footsteps and make my own, that's when the relationship changed. The fight would mean more if he was in my corner, for sure. Watching me continue on that family name, upholding the legacy, with him being there, yeah, that adds a lot. Pleasing my family, being happy, being content, being proud. Those are the driving factors in the moves that I make now as a 35-year-old man. Now I just want to be, you know, I want to be proud of who I am as a man, you know? It's the stage I'm at in my career.
You know, one thing I do want to be remembered for is, see them Benns, they can have a fight. Irrelevant of what I do in the sport, I want to be that fighter that gives the British public entertainment they deserve. Value for money, anyone can get it.
I'm more confident in this fight than I had with me and Chris Sr.
We will stand up, we will give a round of applause to Ben and the family and say thank you for taking the fight. Sorry for your loss.
I'm not thinking about anybody else. That's how you make mistakes, and you think too far ahead. So especially with a task as big as this one, I'm not thinking about the future. I'm not thinking about a rematch. I'm not thinking about anybody or anything else aside from getting this kid out of boxing permanently. bad guy is back.
I don't just want to knock him out for legacy. It's personal, and I don't like him.
I'm gonna really enjoy punishing that kid.
The fight's twice the size.
This fight is bigger now than it was even back then.
This is going to be a bloodbath.
Eubank, I can't wait to smash your head in.
Personal between me and that guy. Don't like him.
If I can render him unconscious, I will.
It really is bad blood.
You are going to get absolutely dismantled and destroyed.
Dead boy walking there.
Now we have a real beef. Now I really want to get this guy.
That game will always dominate the third beam.
We will stand up, we will give a round of applause and say thank you for taking the fight. Sorry for your loss.
I'm definitely going to let him know he's in there with a man who wants to inflict a lot of pain, a lot of damage. You know, I'm not coming in there to play around.
History will repeat.
I want to take him out of the sport.